evening, my little angel. So, Tottochan's first day of school was halfway over. Not only was she delighted with the school space and circumstances, but Tottochan also made a new friend. What will happen next, especially during lunchtime with the dishes from the sea and the mountain that Tottochan has eagerly anticipated since the day before? We know it right now. Seafood and land food, and chew it well. Now it was time for something from the ocean and something from the hills, the lunch our Tottochan had looked forward to so eagerly. The headmaster had adopted the phrase to describe a balanced meal, the kind of food he expected you to bring for lunch in addition to your rice. Instead of the usual, train your children to eat everything, and please see that they bring a nutritiously balanced lunch. This headmaster asked parents to include in their children's lunch boxes something from the ocean and something from the hills. Something from the ocean meant seafood, things such as fish and stukadani, tiny crustacean and the like boiled in soy sauce and squid shake, while something from the hills meant food from the land, like vegetables, beef, pork, and chicken. Mother was very impressed by this and thought that few headmasters could express such a vital role so simply. Oddly enough, just have to choose from two categories made preparing lunch seem more straightforward. And besides, the headmaster pointed out that one did not have to think too hard or be extravagant to fulfill the two requirements. The land food could be just kimpira gobo, spicy burdock, or an omelette, and the seafood merely flakes of dried bonito. Or simpler still, you could have nori, a kind of seaweed for ocean, and a pickled plum for hills. Just as the day before, when Tottochan has watched so enviously, the headmaster came and looked in all the lunch boxes. Have you something from the ocean and something from the hills? He asked, checking each one. It was so exciting to discover what each had brought from the ocean and from the hills. Sometimes a mother had been too busy and her child had only something from the hills or only something from the ocean. But never mind, as the headmaster made his round of inspection, his wife followed him, wearing a cooked white apron and holding a pan up in each hand. If the headmaster stopped in front of a pupil, saying, "Ocean," she could dole out a couple of boiled chikuwa, fish roast from the ocean saucepan, and if the headmaster said, "Hills," out could come some chunks of soy simmered potato from the hill saucepan. No one would have dreamed of saying, "I don't like fish rolls" anymore than thinking what is fine lunch so and so has, or what a miserable lunch poor so and so always brings. The children's only concern was whether they had satisfied the two requirements, the oceans and the hills, and if so, their joy was complete and they were all in good spirits. Beginning to understand what something from the ocean and something from the hills was all about, Tottochan doubted whether the lunch her mother had so hastily prepared that morning would be approved. But when she opened the lunch box, she found such a marvelous lunch inside. It was all she could do to stop herself shouting, "Oh, goody, goody!" Tottochan's lunch contained bright yellow scrambled eggs, green peas, brown denbu, and pink naked cod roll. It was as colorful as a newer garden. "How very pretty," said the headmaster. Tottochan was thrilled. "Mother is an excellent cook," she said. "She is she?" said the headmaster. Then he pointed to the denbu. All right, so what's this? Is it from the ocean or the hills? Totto-chan looked at it, wondering which was correct. It was the color of the earth, so maybe it was from the hills, but she couldn't be sure. I don't know, she said. The headmaster then addressed the whole school. Where does denbu come from? The ocean or the hills? After a pause, while they thought about it, some shouted, Hills! And others called, Ocean! But no one seems to know for sure. All right, I'll tell you, said the headmaster. Denbu is from ocean. Why? Asked a fat boy. Standing in the middle of the circle of desks, the headmaster explained. Denbu is made by scraping the flesh of cooked fish off the bones, lightly roasting and crushing it into fine pieces, which are then dried and flavored. Oh, said the children, impressed. Then someone asked if they could see Totto-chan's denbu. Certainly, said the headmaster, and the whole school trooped over to look at Totto-chan's denbu. There must have been children who knew what denbu was, but whole interest had been aroused, as well as those who wanted to see if Totto-chan's denbu was any different from the kind they had at home. So many children sniffed at Totto-chan's denbu that she feared the beast might get blown away. Totto-chan was a little nervous that first day at lunch, but it was fun. It was fascinating, wondering what seafood and land food was, and she learned that denbu was made of fish, and mother has remembered to include something from the ocean and something from the hills. So, all along, everything had been alright, she thought contentedly. And the next thing that made Totto-chan happy was that when she started to eat the lunch mother had made, it was delicious. Normally, one starts a meal by saying, Irado kimazu, I gratefully partake. But another thing that was different at meoikechuyen was that, first of all, everybody sang a song. The headmaster was a musician. He made up a special song to sing before lunch. Actually, he just made up the words and set them to the tune of the well-known round, row, row, row your boat. The words the headmaster made up went like this. Chew, chew, chew it well, everything you eat. Chew it, chew it, chew it, chew it, rice and fish and meat. It wasn't until they had finished singing this song that the children all said, Itadakimasu. The words fitted the tune of row, row, row your boat so well that even years later, many of the pupils firmly believed it had always been a song you sang before eating. The headmaster may have made up the song because he had lost some of his teeth, but he was always telling the children to eat slowly and take plenty of time over meals while enjoying pleasant conversation. So it is more likely he made up this song to remind them of that. After they had sung the song at the top of their voices, the children all said Itadakimasu and settled out to something from the ocean and something from the hills. For a while, the assembly hall was quiet. So, today's story time is again over. The rainy season comes to the heavy ones. Let you be careful on the slippery road and don't stand under a tree when in the hard rains and with lightning. I wish my angel a good night's sleep. See you again next time.